have written out of the teachings or information.
Yes.
The question I have is on the front part of it, the web Buster Rally USA.
Yes.
Program that we are designed as a fun, very fast way of acquainting the majority of people in this country, perhaps other places, of the idea of human integrity and empowerment.
Yes, self-empowerment. Yes.
Self-empowerment. And the question I have is this. I'm curious to know if you think that this is an adequate vehicle to accomplish this in as short a time as possible, or should I go back to the drawing board and pack up some more water?
Is this idea, is this approach the one that excites you the most at this time that you are able to conceive of? Are you able to conceive of another approach that excites you more? Or is this the one that excites you the most of all the approaches you can conceive of right now?
Yeah, in this particular area it is, but it's not the only thing that excites me. That worries me.
What worries you?
Yes.
Oh, I'm not excited enough, so I guess I'll be worried. The idea is to understand that every single thing that excites you, if there are seemingly many different things that excite you equally, can then perhaps be lumped into one overall category that is the thing that excites you the most. And all the other things that are equal in excitement are simply different ways that you can manifest that one most exciting thing. Therefore, each and every one of those expressions will work for you if you use them when you want to use them. Perhaps you're simply giving yourself an opportunity to use different tools because maybe now and then one will work for a while, then perhaps you'll need to switch to another tool. But they all fall into the same category of the whole idea that excites you, which is to teach individuals that they are as powerful as they need to be to create any reality they desire without having to ever hurt anyone else or themselves in order to create it. You understand what I am saying?
Yes, you're saying, do I understand that you're saying that I should act on all the others that excite me and all at the same time, and they will all...
When you are capable of acting on something and incapable of acting on anything else, act on the thing that excites you the most at any given moment. That will be the correct thing to do at that time. And it will all fall under the overall category of the thing, the path, the idea, the mission, and the purpose that excites you the most. Do you follow me?
Are you enjoying the fun?
Absolutely.
Oh, good.
Are you?
Yes.
Well, thank you very much. That's the whole key.
God sends a love to all His discerning children.
Our love to all the earth's children, of which, of course, you are one, and all of you. Thank you. Next chair.
Sure.
Yes.
Related specifically to what you were talking about tonight.
Closer to the mic.
Closer.
Do not swallow.
Right. I think there are many of us who have listened to your reflections of what we know for a long time and have made an effort, and I use the word try, I don't like that word.
Well, I thought that I like it or do not like it. It is simply inefficient, or shall we say, an incorrect definition.
Okay.
For you are either doing or you are trying to do. Depends on what you prefer.
We are doing this and manifesting this in our lives,
Yes.
yet it still seems sometimes, or many times it doesn't work. And in my mind, I have thought in terms of karma, not as punishment, but we come here to learn certain lessons.
Yes.
And if we haven't learned those lessons, all the believing and all the things that you mentioned tonight are not going to work until we have learned the lessons in our lives that we need to.
In a sense, that is correct, because if you are resisting allowing yourself to go through the experience that will allow you to become the person you need to be to do that thing, then you will not become that person and not be able to do that thing. The idea is to back off of the resistance to any experience in that sense, to see all experiences as positive, and by seeing them only as positive, to gain a positive effect out of them, and by allowing them all to come into your life and go through you, then you will transform very quickly and allow yourself to do, or shall we say, be the vision that you have. You understand? Resist none of those experiences. Do not struggle, nor create friction within yourself about saying, oh, no, this thing that is happening in my life can have nothing to do with what I want. Allow it to be exactly what needs to be there. Infuse it only with a positive meaning, not a negative meaning. Remember, no situation has built-in meaning. The meaning you give it is the effect you get out of it. So when something happens, give it a positive meaning, and therefore you will only get a positive effect out of it. You will go through that experience very quickly, there will be no resistance, and you will transform very rapidly into the person you need to be to have that experience, the overall experience, happen in your life. You follow me?
Not exactly. I'm not listening to that.
All right, not exactly.
Well, let me ask a question related to that.
Very briefly, for the others that wish to ask as well.
You use the word allow.
Allow.
Time.
Yes.
What is the difference between allowing and the attitude of just kicking back and saying forget it and putting it totally out of your mind? It seems like allowing
Still implies that you are taking responsibility, and when opportunities present themselves to you, that you will still act on them, not ignore them. You will not think, oh, I do not have to do anything. I will just fall in my lap. The opportunity will fall in your lap, but you must act on it. You must show your willingness to act on the opportunity, because your willingness to act on the opportunity is directly equivalent to your willingness to be the person you want to be. You understand?
Yes.
Does that help?
Yes, it does.
Well, thank you very much. Sharing.
Yes, Bashar. What excites many of us is when we're going to be interacting with the extraterrestrials. And at one time you mentioned that you would be directly involved in interacting with our civilization.
Yes, so our civilization will not be the first ones, but we will be involved, yes.
Yeah, so you said about 67%. So realizing that your civilization now is being created by us in the Zeta Reticuli.
In a sense, although it is not as directly linear as that, but that will do for an analogy.
Yes, and I was just wondering, as far as how our consciousness is speeding up on the planet, is there any timing speeded up, or who some of these other people may be involved
Do
with?
you not feel it around you? Have you not seen the walls coming down? Have you not seen miracles occur that you thought would not occur in 100 years? Do you not see it speeding up?
Well, I was talking about the interaction with you or the Pleiadians or some of the other civilizations.
We understand that, but again, our interaction with your civilization is directly equivalent to your civilization's willingness to interact with itself. Understand?
Touching us, our future selves touching us. And
Thank you very much. When you become your future selves, then we will be able to interact with you, because it is your future selves that we are interacting with.
Okay.
Understand?
Yes, it's really us interacting with ourselves.
In a sense, yes. But we will also physically be interacting with you, but with your future selves. Not the selves you are right now.
Okay.
Understand?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Shadow! Have you a good day?
2 ideas.
2 ideas. Is that a sneaky way of saying 2 questions?
No. It's an equation.
All right.
Attitude in equals altitude out.
All right.
And life is like going to the movies with God.
All right, if you wish.
And, okay, a while back, we talked about a transmitter that was a crystal cylinder with all points going in on a conductor type of rod.
Yes.
Now, would that rod be conductor, insulator, and
It depends on what effect you want. There are many different kinds of effects, and therefore, the difference within that rod will determine the type of effect you get out of it. Sometimes it will be a simple energy conductor. Sometimes it will be a dimensional gate. It depends on how it is designed. The basic premise of the cylinder created of the crystalline forms with their points all facing inward is the basic matrix. The rod that goes in it is like the fine tuner that determines what type of effect you get out of it. You follow me?
pretty close, I guess.
Okay, well,
The transmitter
Yes.
works in, the receiver has that sphere with the triaxial conductors coming out of it.
Yes.
Is there any more you can elaborate on that transmitter?
Only once again, the formula we have given you this evening can be used to some degree in that regard. Also remember once again that the tetrahedral structure in and of itself contains all the information you need if you explore it mathematically. This will give you the information that will suffice for now. You need to go into your own imagination and trust your own imagination more than you do.
Are those silicon dioxide crystals, and can they be machine polished?
They can. be, yes.
Is it better or
I will tell you that, not.
super thanks?
Super welcome. Sure! Before you ask your question, what is the concept now of your timing?
We're just about out of time.
Oh, what?
Go ahead.
I have a question.
Yes.
Feeling like we're running out of time. I'm
Feeling like you're running out of time.
feeling behind my own schedule.
Oh no, will you ever catch up to
Yeah.
next week? Oh no, the program was delayed. Now we will never know. Running behind schedule. All right. Go ahead.
So what's there?
Why do you feel like you're running behind schedule since you're the one that created the schedule? Why not create a schedule you can keep up with?
Good idea.
Understand, each and every one of you, your own timing is perfect. Whatever vibration you align yourself with will be the reality that you attract. Create a pace that is joyful, that is comfortable. Whatever is most natural to you will be the correct pace and the correct timing for you to be what you need to be. You follow along? Thank you very much. Our love this time to you all. We extend our appreciation in allowing us to communicate this way to you at this time. Our energy to you, our love to you. Pleasant and joyous dreams. For we are all living a dream right now. Good day. Thank you all again very much for coming tonight.
Thank you, Daryl, very much. We have tape lists over here on the table, and we have a few tapes available if you'd like to pick up any Bashar information. Thank you all for coming very much. And Bill's got free.
Once again, each and every time our civilization is afforded the opportunity to interact with your civilization in this manner, it opens up our understanding of all the different ways that the infinite can express itself through our perceiving each and every one of your unique points of view. So we thank you for this gift. We would like to begin this interaction and this transmission with the following idea. We would like to discuss the notion of vibrational residue, so to speak. The idea being that from time to time we have discussed and we have mentioned the principle called resonance identification, and we have discussed many times the idea that everything is vibration of energy, and that, of course, as many of you already know, whatever frequency, whatever vibrational rate you are operating on is what determines, of course, the reality experience that is reflected back to you through the experience of physical reality. But the idea expressed in the way that we would like to discuss this day of your time is a little bit more focused on the concept of resonance domains, frequency domains, strata of experiences that are each representative of a particular bandwidth or frequency or rate of vibration of energy, and how your actions, your choices of what frequencies and energies you give off actually create, in a sense, a reservoir or a buildup of vibrational residue in a particular frequency domain. For example, the idea that we have talked about from time to time, that is phrased in what you would call your biblical literature as judge not, yes, in that way ye be judged. And as we have explained, meaning simply that you are not being judged by someone else, but in a sense are becoming the vibration of judgment and thus experiencing judgment reflected back to you. That is the meaning of that phrase. Let us take that a little bit more specifically to understand that in any given circumstance and situation, how you respond, how you react in that circumstance, in that situation, will create there to be a repository of energy of that particular frequency that becomes associated with that particular circumstance or situation. We know that you have certain kinds of situations on your planet. We will choose one to act as a fundamental example of what we are talking about. You have the circumstance on your planet called automobile traffic. You have expressed many times that in certain circumstances, many of you will become very angry, very frustrated, and will perhaps react in a very negative way. You will put out a particular frequency, vibration of confrontation and conflict. And the idea to understand is that when you do that, you allow there to be a strong association of that particular output to that particular circumstance or situation in general. So that if you yourself then in the future should find yourself in the very same circumstance or situation on the same frequency vibrational level again, whatever it is as a vibrational deposit that you left last time, you will then experience being reflected back to you the next time. In that sense, it is similar to the concept of self-imposed karma, self-created karma, in that if you create conflictive vibrations, frustration vibrations, anger vibrations in the first situation, then the next time you find yourself in a similar situation, it may not necessarily come back to you in exactly the same way, but come back to you it will. Because you have, in a sense, associated that circumstance with that frequency and will automatically find yourself at the receiving end of the frequency that you gave off. The idea is that you may not receive it in the same way. Individuals may not necessarily curse at you, as you say, as you may have done the first time to them. But you may experience it either that way, or you may experience all of a sudden an overwhelming sense, perhaps now that you are in their shoes, doing exactly the same thing that you cursed them out for before the first time. You may feel a sense of overwhelming shame. You may feel a sense of guilt. Not that you deserve to, not that you need to, but the idea is that this energy will come back to you in some way, for everything requires balance. And if you leave a deposit of that vibration connected to such a circumstance, then when you find yourself crossing that wavelength again, you will pick up the baggage that you left before. Because it is associated to you. It is keyed to you. It came from you. It belongs to you. It will come back to you. The idea is that, again, it may come back to you in a variety of ways. Either it will be literally reflected in exactly the same way that you gave it off, or you will feel it or experience it in your life in some manifestation that is indicative of the same vibrational level. Things suddenly may not work too well for you. Things may start to fall apart. You may feel certain emotions that are unpleasant for you. All because, to begin with, you allowed yourself to succumb to a particular vibration that may have really no benefit for you constructively, and in giving it off and associating it and attaching it to that circumstance, then it doesn't allow you to be free to experience that circumstance in the future in a clear and neutral way. Whenever you make such an association, you automatically limit the way in which you can experience that circumstance in the future until you clarify that energy as you have put it in to begin with. Always it is of great benefit and greater benefit to allow yourself the opportunity to experience any circumstance in a fundamentally neutral way. so that you can then decide to extract from the circumstance, no matter how it looks, a fundamentally positive or constructive outcome. But if you have already made the association of negative energy, so to speak, or more precisely, conflictive or discordant energy to that circumstance, then that's what you leave there for yourself to find the next time you cross that particular threshold. And in that sense, it'll be an opportunity for you to learn to render that circumstance into a neutral and fundamentally meaningless set of props that you can then be free to determine what kind of energy, what kind of outcome you would rather prefer to extract from the circumstance, no matter how it looks on the surface, and no matter how previously you may have been taught to think or label or judge or limit that circumstance. I remind you once again, every circumstance is neutral, and every circumstance can serve double duty, positive or negative. The meaning you put into it, the energy vibration you attach to it, is utterly what determines the effect you will get out of it, no matter what anyone else's intentions are. Going into it, you are your own reality, and you have the final say on exactly what frequency you experience and how you translate that frequency in your reality as body, as emotion, as spirit. It is up to you. So be aware of what energy you give off in any given situation, because you will pass that way again, and you will pick up that bag when you come back. Make sure it's baggage you want to carry. Otherwise, let it go so you can travel lightly. And in any given situation, then, respond quickly so that you will not have to then, in a sense, take the time to transform the baggage that was left there by you before. Baggage claim, you may call this if you wish. Now then, we thank you for allowing us to reflect this nuance of vibrational mechanics to you. And in return for the gift that you are giving our civilization at this time in experiencing this co-created interaction, I ask in what way at this time may I and my world be of service to you.